Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. And I mean, my peace out muscles have been trying to flex lately, right? Lots going on, and I know it's the same with you. Hey, before I get too into tonight, we're going to start this class, The Gifts of the Spirit. I was studying again this morning, and I'm like, man, this is the first book I ever published in print, I think. Well, other than one devotional, I guess. At least on Amazon is the first one. So I was looking at the formatting issues and I'm like, boy, you got to fix some stuff. So I got to get in there and fix this before I send any more out, right? So I'll get in there and fix it. But we're going to do this class tonight, and we're going to start tonight. So the next 6 weeks, we're going to be looking at the gifts of the Spirit. Why do we have them? What good are they? Why do we need to learn about them? And what benefit do we get from them? Do we get a benefit from them? Are they just something that Paul just kind of mentioned as he was writing one day? No, he wrote about them a lot of different places, right? And the book of the week is Command Your Morning, the devotional. It gives you that, helps you set that spiritual intention for the day. No matter what happens to me today, God is what I'm going to focus on. No matter what happens to me, around me, we're going to drive our hearts back to God and command the rest of the day to follow our heart to God's heart, right? So I'm still on Psalm 68 because it's such a powerful psalm. It's a pretty long one too. And the first couple of verses, we used to sing it as, we sang everything in the 70s. If it had any kind of rhythm at all to the words, we'd put rhythm with the guitar or piano and take off singing it, right? We sang everything in the 70s. That's how we learned a lot of scriptures, though. I didn't realize a bunch of them were scriptures until I started reading the Bible for myself, and I go, hey, we sing that one. We were singing scriptures. I just thought somebody had a cute little riff or something we were singing, right? So, but today I want to stay in Psalm 68. This is something I'm thinking about. I'm trying to figure this one out, okay? And it's verse 19, and it says, blessed be the Lord who daily loads us with benefits, the God of our salvation, Selah. Selah just means stop a minute. Think about that. He daily loads us with benefits. We could start with the most basic. He breathed a breath into Adam that put life into mankind, and we're still living off of that breath, right? So he gives us breath. He gives us life. That's a benefit because the benefits are on this side, right? So it's going to be wonderful on the other side, but right now I'm ready to go whenever it's time to go, but I don't want to go right this minute, right? I got some stuff to do, right? But he daily, every single day, loads, that's a big word, us with benefits. Now, some people take this and make it all monetary. God's going to give us money. Well, that's not inaccurate. He is our provider, and he provides in very different ways. Last week we talked about, I think it was us. I don't know. I did several classes last week, but we've been talking about how when God led people into battles, right, he always gave them a different strategy. He never did it the same way twice. They marched around Jericho. Jehoshaphat, they just praised God. They literally just praised God and watched the enemy fall. David went out to Goliath with a stone. Nobody else took a stone to a battle and won. God had a different strategy for every single battle. And I believe he gives us strategies today too. Now we can look at these and we can say, praise is always going to be our best weapon, and worship, spending time before God, that's our best weapon, right? That's the biggest one. But they only used that like maybe once or twice. Gideon sort of did, sort of didn't. They used clay pots, representative of us, and torches, representative of the fire of the Holy Spirit that lives in us, and the trumpet, which represents maybe the worship side of things, right? We could draw these parallels, but God always led them into victory. He never led anybody into a battle and said, we're going to go lose, but come on, you're going to learn a good lesson here. No, isn't that one of the benefits of serving God, is we literally don't ever lose. That doesn't mean we don't face battles. It means every day, no matter what comes at us, we still have his peace. He doesn't say, oh, I don't do that kind of battle. Give me my peace back. I don't do that kind of stuff. Let me have that salvation back. You can have it back tomorrow. When you get through this, then I'll give you some peace. No, the benefits is that God walks through time with us. He stays with us. He doesn't leave us. He doesn't keep bad things from happening. He doesn't keep really horrible things from happening in the world, but he gives us peace in the middle of those things. And sometimes it's hard to trust him. I'm just going to be honest, right? Sometimes when my son had his wreck, it was hard. I had to go through a redefining faith process to say, God, are you really there? And I started with the basic. I can't believe that God's not there. That's where I started in 2008. The fall of 2008 was, okay, I know you're there. I don't see you right now. I don't feel you right now. I don't see how you're going to bring anything good out of this situation unless you come riding in on a white horse and raise my son up. And he did not do that like I asked, but that didn't mean he wasn't there. The cool thing was, as I began to redefine my faith, I began to realize that God was still with me, and my faith carried me through the fiery trials of life. Think about the 3 Hebrew children. What was their benefit? God walked in that fire with them, right? They didn't avoid the fire, but he was in it with them. And it's the same way with life. We're not going to avoid the trials of life. Sometimes some of our trials are our own fault, because I'm raising my hand here. Sometimes my trials, I'll say it that way, are my own fault because I made some dumb decisions and did some dumb stuff, and I get myself in a dumb situation I don't know how to get out of, right? That's not God's fault. And he doesn't say, well, that was really dumb. I'll just sit over here and see how you figure it out. No, he still says, just ask me for wisdom. Let's get out of it. And he walks through it with us. That's one of the benefits he loads us with, because he's the God of our salvation. All right. So we even if it's something we did ourselves, he doesn't walk away. He stays with us. That's one of the benefits. Blessed be the Lord who daily loads us with benefits. Daily, he remains the God of our salvation. And we can't weaken what was accomplished on the cross. I keep hearing myself say that, right? We can't make it any less powerful. Now, we can choose to not walk in that, but we can't make it go away. We can't reverse it. We can't stop being saved. Really, once we get saved, now I'm not talking all once saved, always saved, so don't get off on a doctrine here. But when we trust God and we continue to trust God, he's not going to throw us away. When we trust and come through the cross, we are righteous in God's eyes. And that is, I said this yesterday, one of the hardest things for me to realize, that he made me righteous. He sees us as righteous because we've come through the blood of the cross. We can't negate that. We cannot enjoy the benefit of that and sit and think of ourselves as rejected and horrible people and think bad things about ourselves. But we can't take that away. When God looks at us, when we come through the blood of Christ, he sees us righteous. He is our righteousness. It's not a bunch of stuff we did. The only work we did was believe in him. Matter of fact, John 6 tells us that the work of God is to believe in him whom he has sent. That's the power. So he daily loads us with these benefits of peace, of direction, of wisdom, salvation, so many different things. Our job is to discover all these benefits, discover what it's like to have him walk through the fire with us to the other side. In Isaiah 43, he is in the flood with us. He didn't make the flood not happen, but he's in it with us. He didn't make the fire not happen, but he's in the fire with us, right? And he walks through those things, the hard things of life, the easy things of life. He will not abandon us. He's with us, and that's why we can peace out. Peace out, you guys. Have a great day. See you again tomorrow.